Hello, everybody. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome, welcome. We are welcoming you to our little world here in our growing community. If you have not subscribed to this channel, we ask that you subscribe. Go ahead and leave us a comment in the comment section because we want to know where you are watching from. And we are glad that you're here. We hope that you give us a thumbs up. And we also encourage you to invite someone else to watch along with you while you are watching. We are here to talk about all night prayer. We have a very, very special guest who is joining us today. But before we bring her up, we want to just go through a few announcements really quick. Of course, all night prayer, as we have told you, that is coming up. It is happening tomorrow, guys. The time has just gone by. April 25th through the 26th, we are meeting at Macedonia Church of Augusta. We are partnering with them, and we are so excited. People are praying, and we are looking forward to God moving in a mighty way. You see all those people on that flyer? You will hear from each and every one of them at some point during the night. Now, here's a better flyer for you. So if you want to get the information, go ahead and screenshot this so you'll have the address and the date and the time. We are also praying for elected officials. This is our 4th annual time doing this. And so we're excited about how things are growing and how things are changing. We want to say thank you because this is possible because of our sponsors. And we want to say thank you to them for that. Of course, one of our main sponsors, BetterChoices, coaching and counseling services, Dr. Faye Hargrove, BetterChoices.guru. She is a sponsor for all night prayer, and we are talking to her today. And so it'll be just a few moments. We'll bring her up, but we're excited about her support and all that she has to offer. I'm telling you, she has done some things with the school system and with children and can help you get unstuck. And so we're going to ask her how we can get connected with her in order to make that happen. Some of our other sponsors, real quick, we also are sponsored by Young People Nation. They actually are partners with this platform, and they've partnered with us for many years now, but they have a podcast that comes on Facebook and YouTube, hosted by Eugene and Donna Perry, and they talk about real, raw topics. This week, they have a conversation about dating as a single parent. And it's not something that they go all sober. They really get into the nitty gritty. They have guests who are really transparent about whatever they're talking about. And so you'll want to go and find them. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to them as well. We want to say thank you also to our sponsor, the Preaching Executive, Pastor Danielle Hayes. Anything that you are doing in the Christian world with your ministries, she can help you take it to the next level. She has a wealth of knowledge and insight that she's able to, that she has at her disposal, and she's able to help you move from one place to the next. So make sure you connect with the Preaching Executive, Pastor Danielle Hayes. We also want to thank one who has been with us from the very beginning, Pastor Antoine Wallace of New Nation Worship Center. He is also a sponsor for All Night Prayer. And again, like I said, he's been with us since the second one, and has always been so very supportive in anything that we've done. So we appreciate him. Another sponsor we want to thank, the Harvey Family Group. They are a home health agency. And if you need help in your home with your parents or with your grandparents, they are the agency to call. And we thank them for their sponsorship. We also want to thank Candace Montre Roberts. She is a psalmist and has been with us from day one, and she has sponsored us in many of our endeavors, and is also sponsoring All Night Prayer. And then, of course, Jonathan Davis Ministries sponsoring All Night Prayer. We appreciate him so much. Davis Consultants is one reason why we are structured the way that we're structured, and he has so much insight. We actually spoke with him day before yesterday, so you'll have to go back and watch his video. We really had a really good time. And the last thing that I will say, if you have not gotten a text message from us about when we are on and what we are doing, sign up with our text community. You can type in the word community, KOMMUNITY, to the number 866-939-6096. And that is where you can connect with us. So now, without further ado, we want to bring to the stage our beautiful, the incomparable Dr. Faye Hargrove, who is here to talk to us about what she does, how she can help us, and moving forward, some of the things that are coming up with her. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Hargrove. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm so proud of you. You're doing so many amazing things. God bless you.
You are very kind. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about what you do. You're a doctor. You have your own business, but just to tell us a little bit about what you do so that we can know how we can connect with you.
Okay. I have to admit up front that I'm somewhat of a unicorn. I am an industrial organizational psychologist by training. So a lot of people haven't even heard of that. However, the psychology part leads me to help people with the way they think, the way they feel, and the way they behave. And the industrial organizational part is that I target organizations and people and groups. I don't do diagnosis because my approach is a little different. I take a coaching approach. I believe we shouldn't have to try to manage anger or manage depression. We should just let it go. And so I help my clients clear the debris from the trauma of life or just the experience of life so that they can be who God created them to be.
That is powerful because I've heard people who have gone to counseling and gone to therapy. I'm all for that. But the way that you've explained it to me, even in past conversations, is that there is a process that we can walk through so that you can find healing and see the light at the end of the tunnel. I love the part that you say about debris. Talk about that a little bit. What would you describe as debris that we usually deal with and carry?
Well, life happens. If you are raised by human parents, then you have some experiences that you have to overcome because each iteration of parenting, it may get better, it may not get better. And you may be motivated to parent your kids the way you were not parented. And so the debris that life brings is the disappointment, the hurt, the fears that we learn. We learn fears that we aren't born with fears. God did not instill in us a spirit of fear. And so the experiences that we have in life, we make choices about how we will respond to those experiences. And we set up a framework. So the first time ever in life, for example, that you were angry, you told your little self, so this is the way the world works. And this is the way people are. So this is how I do anger. And you set up that framework way back, but you still use it. And so my approach is to go back to where we decided, where we formatted that thumb drive and reformat it so that we approach situations a little differently because there's trauma and, we can't always protect ourselves from or prevent the trauma that happens in life. We're born into families that we didn't pick. And so, I'll have to admit, I'm 68 years old, still growing up, learning how to remove some of the debris and recognizing in my choices some of the limiting beliefs and some of the ways of thinking that were created when I was very little.
I love that because I feel like you just give people hope that they don't have to stay stuck where they are. Like, I just have to deal with this. I guess I just have to go to therapy and talk about this every week. And again, therapy is great, but I feel like you give people a door, like there is a way to walk out of this. And even though it will take time, it is a process, there is a way to get better. Mm-hmm. How did you come up with this? Where did this kind of all come from?
Well, a few years ago, maybe 15 years ago, I got certified in a science called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP. And it's a different way of looking at our minds and our mental programming. It's a completely different paradigm. And when I went through it, I went through a process called timeline therapy, where you let go of stored negative emotions. And the light bulb just went on. And, my prayer was, God, why doesn't the world know about this? Why have I been walking around this angry woman all of my life because of father abandonment issues? Why have I been feeling so insecure because of those same issues? Why is it that in one session, I learned to rethink my whole approach? And in doing that, it actually strengthened my relationship with God because now I can see what he put in me and have the courage to go after it. And so when I got that training in NLP, it was like I wrote a book called Better Choices, and it was like a fire shut up in my bones that I became, and God said to me, so it's your job now to be this little reframing therapy disciple to go and let people know that there's a different way to manage our mental wellness. Jesus didn't write prescriptions. Right. Jesus didn't do counseling.
That's right. I hadn't thought about that, but you're right.
Right. But Jesus understood that the way God created our bodies, this physical vessel, is that we have the ability to heal. And it doesn't always take a pill. So I've learned over the years in doing this not to compartmentalize my life so that there's work and then there's my spirituality, because you can't do one without the other. So everything that I do is based on my understanding of who I am in the world, a spiritual being having a human experience. And then when I think about what we're about to do, the prayer, I think about it as like a three-legged stool. Okay, so one leg is what Jesus taught us about this stuff. So Jesus gave some pretty clear instructions. And most people don't realize that his instructions had a lot to do with telling us how to think and how to feel. I mean, he did a few actual behavioral things like give and things like that. But most of it, it's about how you should shape your mind and what feelings you should have in order to enter the kingdom. And he talked about the kingdom of God is like this. It's like a mustard seed. So the first leg on my three-legged stool is to really understand Jesus's teachings. And I judge everything, every situation with the WWJD standard. What would Jesus do here? So if Jesus was in this conversation, would he condemn this person? If Jesus was in this conversation, what would he have to say about this? So that's my standard, but it is based on me studying and knowing what Jesus taught. The second leg on the stool to me is science. And I don't know why some people think that you can't have God and science in the same sentence, because science is kind of how God does it, right? Yes. So once I realized that everything in the universe is energy vibrating at a different level, when you understand that, then you know that your thoughts, your feelings, your prayers are energy. And Jesus's instructions actually were to help us vibrate at a level so that we can connect with the kingdom of God. There's a scientist who created a map. So there are machines who can actually study your energy. In the military, when they're looking in buildings, they can see the signatures of people in the building. There's the red. That's because we put off energy. And when we're feeling different emotions, we are vibrating at different levels. So when we're feeling shame or guilt, we're vibrating at our lowest level. And so he created this scale from like 25 to 1,000. Jesus's instructions to us were that love is the most important thing, right? So when we are actually feeling love and gratitude and joy, our vibration increases, and it can be measured. So we're vibrating like at 500, or if we're feeling joy or enlightenment, it goes on up to 1,000. And so if everything, think of it as tuning into this channel or a radio station or whatever. If you want to get the station, you got to tune into where the stuff is happening, right? So in order for us to tune into where the stuff is happening, we have to raise our vibration. And so the science of it is also what grounds me. In that me being very deliberate about making sure that I don't have toxic people, toxic situations, negative thinking. What did Paul say about we should only think about things that are lovely and right? Because there's real science behind what happens in our body when we do that. When we're vibrating at those low levels with guilt and shame, disease actually sets into the body. But we heal when we're vibrating at higher levels. And then the third stool leg on that three-legged stool that I carry around in my head is me and my response. So there's what Jesus teaches, there's what the science tells us, but then what do I have to do? So, for a long time, I thought that my relationship with Jesus was built on, well, he died for my sins. And what does that require of me? And I think when he hears, I bet, Jesus is sitting back going, well, why don't these people get it? I taught for 3 years and I taught a whole bunch of stuff and all the disciples didn't get it all the time. But, some of them got some of it. So I think, what is it that's required of me? And it is for me to maintain my mental wellness. when I maintain my mental wellness, then I am available to God. When I'm feeling anger and resentment and all of that other stuff, I'm not available to God. But when I pray and meditate and I'm calm and I have joy and I have gratitude, then I'm at the level to receive the blessings that God has for me. So my work is to keep my light shining. So Jesus says, "You're a light, right? And let your light shine." And when you think about us being a light in darkness, if you strike a match in the deepest, darkest night, the darkness falls away from the match because darkness cannot stand in the presence of light. And the light doesn't have to do anything except shine, except be what it is. And so I think my biggest challenge and what I help my clients do is to know how to be who they authentically and genuinely are. Remove the debris so you can see yourself the way God sees you, so you can love yourself the way God loves you, so that you can know that you are enough. And then when your choices come out of that gratitude and then out of that love, that everything opens up for you. That was a long answer to your question, wasn't it?
But that was amazing. I am so intrigued. That was awesome. And there's so many avenues that I could go down. So I'm trying to keep us on the right road. I absolutely enjoy talking to you every time we get an opportunity to speak.
Same here.
It is, man, this ministry is about body, soul, and spirit. When you were talking about the 3-prong, like it is our responsibility to take care of our bodies, to drink water, to get sleep, to exercise, those things. And like you said, to pay attention to the way we feel. And then it's our responsibility to make sure we maintain that relationship with God. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we really connect with others, because we can't live in isolation. This is one reason why I'm so excited about this all-night prayer. Again, we mentioned it. It's coming up and it is happening tomorrow, April 25th through 26th. We're going to start at 6 on Friday, pray all night until 6 a.m. Saturday morning. And we're doing it at Macedonia Church of Augusta, partnering with this ministry for the first time. And I feel like it has taken it to a whole nother level. We're in a stratosphere that I've not been in before, so we're excited about what God is doing. And we thank Dr. Hargrove for just supporting us, for being here today, and also being a sponsor. This is going to be amazing. Tell us why it's important for you, or why you were open to connecting with what we were doing. It really lines up with what you teach, but just let us have a little conversation about that, why you were willing to connect with what we're doing.
Well, the number one reason was you, Kimberly. And so when you reached out and asked me, I was like, of course. But then I was so amazed to find out, to go deeper on who you are and find out what you're doing. And I just resonated with what you're doing, and anything that I can do to help you, I'm there for you. And the other thing is, it also resonated with my worldview. I feel like, Jesus says, I came that you can have life and have it more abundantly. And he was sad when he walked around and saw the condition of the people, because we don't have to hurt. We don't have to be sick. We don't have to. And the answers are all there. And so anyone who is trying to get the word out that God has a message, God loves us, we are built to be healthy and prosperous, and not to have a feeling of lack, because everything flows through us, and just to be available to all of that. I mean, everything that you do lines up with the way I see the world and the way I try to be in the world. So that's why I'm here.
We appreciate that so much. The more that you talk to us about how we can connect with you, people who want to, and I know that you already have a busy schedule, but I don't know, do you do seminars or workshops or things of that nature? And then if somebody wants to connect with you one-on-one, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so yes, I do workshops, everything from team building for organizations to one-on-one. My company, BetterChoices Coaching and Counseling Services, we have 3 main products. One is the Fresh Perspectives program, which is a letting go program to help you release all the stored negative emotions. Another one is the Chapter Next Reset program that I specifically designed for veterans, because the suicide rate among veterans just disturbs me, and it doesn't have to be that way. And so it's a program to help them clear out the debris that we talked about and then create a map for moving forward in the new life after deployment or after service, and then executive coaching. So that's why I work with leaders to help them go to the next level and be the best leaders that they can. And so my website is BetterChoices.guru. I'm on social media. In fact, I have a 5-day mental health challenge going now. It's free. You don't have to do it in 5 days, but it's to help you set up some habits for doing the kinds of things that Jesus told us to do. But from with a different flavor, a different context. It's all of this is biblical teaching from Jesus, but we don't often think about our mental health as being connected with what God requires of us or what Jesus teaches us to do. So to get in touch with me, you can go to the website. You can, if you want to put my email address in there, it's Dr. Faye Hargrove at BetterChoices.guru, or just Google me on YouTube or social media. I had to reinvent myself, Kimberly, because I'm old and I didn't have this social media game down until about the last 12 months. So I'm learning stuff.
You're doing an amazing job. I've seen you out there on social media. You're doing an amazing job. Now tell me again, your website is Better
The
Choices.
website is BetterChoices.guru, GURU.
I should have did this before. Guru. Okay. I'm going to put this up there. Better Choice.
Yeah.
Guru. Okay. To get in touch with you. Now you mentioned your first prong or your first aspect of your business. You mentioned that you help people get rid of the debris, things of that nature. Do you do that in a group? Can you do that in a group setting, or is it better to do it with individuals?
Well, it's always better with individuals because I can ask questions and follow up. But the largest group I've ever done had 250 people in it. It was actually at our sororities national convention in Philadelphia. So where I lead the group through the actual letting go process. But yeah, of course, one-on-one is the best scenario because I can ask follow-up questions and give you the attention that you need. But I wrote a book that you can do it on your own, and the book has it's been a while, so it has CDs, but the audio file is also on YouTube. But it's me talking you through the letting go process in the privacy of your home without me being there. So this stuff is we've been fooled to believe that peace and the peace that surpasses all understanding is so elusive and so difficult. But that one of the things that Jesus taught is that it's not. He said, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, right, you can say to that mountain, move. And what's the mountain going to do? It's going to move. And so if we invest in ourselves and take the time to learn what Jesus is telling us to do and then apply it to ourselves mentally with a skilled professional who can help you do it, then everybody benefits because we all are more grounded and centered. And if I love me, I can love you. But I can't love you if I don't love me.
Yes. And the scripture tells us to love your neighbor as you love yourself. It's got to start with you. I do think that Christians miss out on that perspective because it seems to be all about God, and give. And how can he help me in a crisis? And we don't look at it as let's develop into healthy individuals so that we can work in arm in arm, work in tandem with what God is telling us to do in the earth and make change. Mm-hmm. And so what you're saying, I feel like there's an awakening happening in not just in the world, but even in the church world, where mm-hmm. people are realizing that this is important. Mental health is important. Me taking care of myself is important. And what you have to offer, man, I just feel like it is just a light bulb that has been hid. But I just pray through this avenue and many others, because I got some things coming up. We're going to try to pull you in, and we're going to get you out there as much as possible to just share with people, because I do feel like you're walking around with an answer, with a treasure in your belly. And we appreciate you sharing that.
Well, thank you. It's my passion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Tell us anything coming up so that we can connect with you wherever you are. I know that we probably can find it on your website, but just wanted you to be able to articulate what's happening with your business. If you're going to be somewhere where we can come and support you, just share with what's coming up next or things that you may have in the plans that you haven't announced yet.
Okay, so the thing that's going on right now is the 5-day mental health challenge. And so that is currently active. It's not something that you have to attend at a particular time. You sign up for the challenge, you do each day's lesson on your own. And then, of course, you have to upsell at the end, right, to buy the deeper products. But that is something that will allow people to engage and learn some habits right now. I don't have any in-person live events coming up. In fact, most of my work is currently being done like this through COVID. I mean, since COVID, through Zoom. And so you'll be surprised how much we can connect, like we're connecting today in the privacy of your home. And I can lead you through where you need to go while you're sitting in your pajama bottoms or pajama top, whatever.
I love that. Yes. I do want to be mindful of your time, but you mentioned the 5-day challenge, and I want people to know that you can find that not only at Dr. Hargrove's website, but also we have a link on our website at KimberlyJMinistries.org where it has the QR code where you can connect with that challenge. The 5-day challenge that she's talked about. Again, we want to remind you, all night prayer starting tomorrow, April 25th through 26th, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. If you can't stay all night, that's okay. Just come to Macedonia, stay as long as you can. You can go home, take a nap, and come back if you want to, whatever happens.
Or let me say this, you can stay there and take a nap because your unconscious mind doesn't sleep. And so the stuff is still getting in there.
That's good. Thank you for that. That is good. That is good. Any words that you'd like to say just to encourage us or to encourage those who are listening to you talk? Maybe you said something to spark their interest. Those who are watching live or on the replay, we have a lot of people who come back and watch the replay. Something that could encourage them to say, you know what, maybe I do need to do the 5-day challenge. Maybe I do need to step out and connect with her. Maybe I do need to get this baggage off of my back that I've been carrying. And I feel like this is just how it is. Maybe give some encouraging words or some insight into how people can take that next step out of their comfort zone, because we do get comfortable with our baggage, but step out of our comfort zone so that we can live a better life.
So when you look in the mirror, if you don't say to yourself, I am enough, and if you don't know that you are available for God to use you and for God's blessings to flow through you, and then you make yourself available for that, there's work to be done. So let's do it. Wow.
I think that's all of us. All of us need to sign up.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you so much for being with us today. And I know you had a busy schedule, so I really appreciate your time today. And just want to encourage everybody to come out to the all-night prayer, because that's where we are going to be hanging out. Thank you, Dr.
See you tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Have a great day.